My adrenaline is not going through the roof either.
Yeah.
I don't have any shakiness going on. I don't have to control my breath. Nothing. I can just sit there and shoot for 75 feet, and I can hit a quarter at 75 feet doing that. Now, you have me face an active shooter and pull that small barreled concealed pistol out of my side or out of my pocket or holster or wherever I keep it and aim. The chances of me hitting that quarter have gone from about 95% to maybe 25%. And that's that. And I'm a hell of a shot. So this guy who put that round in this guy's head, that was. I'm not calling it a miracle shot because it's not a miracle shot. You got to train for this. And you got to have muscle memory.
But it's a damn good shot.
But holy crap. Holy crap.
Damn good shot.
I mean, that's like trying to kill it.
The whole thing only lasted 6 seconds.
Yeah, 6 seconds. 2 seconds in, and he's drawn.
He's 86th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's already getting ready to 86 that dude before the video's half over. I haven't seen the video run. I've just seen stills out of it. But apparently it's floating around the internet still.
Yeah, there's video floating around. And as a matter of fact, I would like to say our good friend Tommy Lauren, I love her commentary, and she can get a little bit too shiner every once in a while and just go off on a tangent. And sometimes it gets her fired from a job. And so
I remember that.
Yeah. But trust me, you got to listen to this. This is just. Oh, by the way, this happened in Beto O'Rourke territory. The guy who wants to take away all your guns. Yeah, exactly. Here you go.
A gunman opens fire at a Sunday church service, but he must have forgotten he was in Texas. It's time for Final Thoughts. Yesterday morning, a monster opened fire on churchgoers in White Settlement, Texas, just outside of Fort Worth. He shot and killed 2 people where heroic gun-toting church parishioners stepped up and took him down.
I would like to point out that we have a couple of heroic, saved countless lives, and our hearts are going out to them and their families as well. Today.
Yeah, I want to stop you right there because even though you carry a weapon, chances are you'll never use it. Do you agree? There's a high degree of.
Depending where you hang out,
right?
If
you're a regular law-abiding citizen who carries around a weapon, you carry around the weapon for safety, but you carry it around hoping and praying that you never have to use it. Now, having said that, I got to send some prayers to the shooter because, trust me, that stuff stays on your mind for the rest of your life. You'll never get rid of it. And some people take it better than others. But regardless, it's going to consume his thoughts for the rest of his life. It may not do it every single day, and it may not do it every single hour. But holidays, especially holidays, it'll pop up. You'll carry guilt with you, even though you saved lives and even though you did the right thing, you'll still carry guilt. So let me go on with the sheriff's. This is getting ready to talk to the sheriff, and he's got a black shirt with 4 stars on the collar, big black Stetson hat. Boy, his mustache. He's got an epic mustache. I'll just put it that way. Here.
The dude is the stereotypical idea of a Texas sheriff.
Boy, you ain't kidding. I mean, the only thing he's missing is
through and through.
The only thing he's missing is a horse. So, hang on. Here's the rest of the interview.
Bolium. Let me remind you, good people raised up and stopped it before it.
That gunman walked into that church to destroy innocent lives, but he was quickly reminded, you don't mess with Texas and you don't mess with the Second Amendment. The church service was live streamed to the YouTube page, but is taken down, though the footage is still surfacing. Now, the details surrounding the shooter, the motive, and the tragedy will continue to emerge in the coming days, but what we do know is this. Good guys armed with guns and their Second Amendment rights stood up, stepped up, and stopped tragedy before it could get much, much worse.
True story.
Real deal.
True story. Take that, Beto. If I could address you personally, because I know you listen to the podcast all the time.
I know he listens every week.
Yeah, Beto. Sanchez, I think is your name, right? Yeah, anyways, had you been a parishioner of the church and sitting very near the shotgun-yielding villain, and somebody exercised their Second Amendment rights, popped him in the head, and kept him from shooting you, Are you still going to take their guns? Because, by the way, this wasn't an assault rifle, sir. It wasn't an AK-47. It wasn't an AR-15. It wasn't an MP5. It wasn't an MP7. It wasn't an H&K. It was a shotgun. A shotgun. One of the few weapons that you don't want to take away from everybody. It was a shotgun. So what are you going to do now, Beta? Well, he's going to have to rethink a lot of things.
Well, that's the one thing. Like, I don't see that we need to ban guns and outlaw guns. Like, this guy, okay, the guy with the shotgun that walked in there, I heard on Fox late today, he's already been convicted of illegally possessing a weapon.
Yes. Yeah, he's a felon. He's not supposed to have a weapon.
Yeah, and it wasn't supposed to, because there's a law. There's the law that's supposed to stop everybody when there's a law. So there's a law in place for felons not to own firearms. He's got one, so he's already broke the law. So, I mean, how can you think taking all the guns away from him? Because that dude's going to have a gun. Thankfully, we got the freedoms to have weapons, and there were 6 other church go change that dude's plans for him that day.
Exactly. All right, I don't want to get off the church shooter. It is kind of depressing, but it's something we need to talk about. I mean, it's right up there at the forefront of everything. But we are going to take a quick break, and when we get back to the other side, we're going to go revisit some of the funny shit that we did all year. So hang in there with us. We will be back in 30 seconds. All right, ladies and germs. Now we're down to the funny part. This is something I've been looking forward to for several weeks. As Shiner and I have been talking about it, but we're going to bring up a little story about Shiner. I know he goes to Walmart a lot, but this is one of the funnier ones from season 1, episode 6, which is aptly titled "Batteries Brian." I don't know if you've done any shopping. I've tried to stay away from it. Have you been shopping at all?
If I do, it's been on. And although I did, yeah. And you and I have not had this conversation, but I did. I've noticed when I am out, I'm not Christmas shopping, but like I was grocery shopping, and people's attitudes just really turn to shit during the holidays, and everybody's in a hurry. Everybody, they think their shit's more important than yours, and. Okay, like at the beginning of this week that we're currently in, I go into Walmart to get some shopping done.
Right.
And so I got a cart. I'm pushing it around. I try to be, I try to use some manners when I'm out in public. And I see, like, I go down like a main aisle, and I'm next to like all the Christmas decorations and wrapping paper and all that kind of stuff. And
right.
I see these 2 individuals walking to me, and it's a dad and a son. And the dad is. I call him 6'1", 6'2", weighs about $145.
Oh, skinny.
Oh, I'm like a beanpole. The son is just a younger version of him with a Justin Bieber haircut. He's probably about 16.
Did he have like a long neck like that internet kid does?
Have you seen that kid?
Yeah.
And it's funny you said that because that's kind of the vibe I got from this kid. But the dad, this is where it starts getting real weird. The dad has got his head down because he's playing a video game. And when I look into his hands, just because I'm by nature kind of observant about things, I realize he's playing like the first generation old school Nintendo Game Boy.
What?
And he's getting after it. So he's like on a collision course with me. So eventually it gets to the point I have to stop all my progress. I have to completely stop in this aisle. This guy walks up almost into the front of my cart. Then that catches his attention, which, okay, I'm not mad yet. I'm not even irritated. But as he like changes his course of travel and goes around my cart, he never offers me an apology, nothing.
He
doesn't give 2 shits. So as he's walking and he gets past me, the person I'm with says, well, the person I'm with is pretty sure that I'm going to be ears.
Okay.
So they started getting me in a conversation and say, hey, what do you got going on the rest of the day? I said, pretty loud, I said, I tell you what I don't have going on. I don't have going on walking around Walmart like my head's up my ass being rude to everybody I come in contact with.
No, I'm going to stop it there for a second. Shots fired. shots fired. He threw a couple of volleys.
I was gonna say, yeah,
over that
was
way.
a warning shot. That was intended to be a warning shot.
And that was a warning shot that got really close too. That was your mom, right? Your mom was with you that day, I think.
I think so. Yeah,
I think it was your mom.
It was. Yeah.
All right, let's listen to the rest of this.
And this dude hears it and stops on a dime, does a 180, and informs me, "Today's not the day, buddy." And as I get ready to say something, he slams the Game Boy on the ground, and if doubles his fist, he's ready to throw down right in the middle of Walmart.
Oh shit!
And I'm like, I can't even wrap my head around this shit. So when he throws the Game Boy down, it busts the lid to the battery compartment comes off of it, and all the AA batteries come. So he starts telling me, he gives me this about, 15-second dissertation of how he's not going to put up with my shit. And then at the end of a really long breath, as he's finishing up, he takes his hand and snaps his fingers and goes, "Batteries, Brian."
Okay, so we're still not finished, but I can just imagine you right there, because you've got to be flirting between laughing and taking this guy's head off.
Oh yeah, it was the most confusing feeling I've ever had in my life.
I
just listening to this, I start picturing it again.
And
oh my God,
I'm picturing the dad as like some idiot-looking nerd from the 70s or something. I don't know. You know, the way you described it, it's like somebody's trying to grow a mustache.
Yeah,
and
he thinks he's pulled it off, but he really hasn't.
Drives like an 86.
Well, the guys that have like the sleeveless shirts on, and like, of course, this was in winter, but this is the type of dude he probably. The sleeveless shirts on that they cut the sleeves off, which we do that a lot too. But those really skinny guys that the shoulders are sticking out a little far, and they got the armhole cut down to their waist.
Yeah,
it kind of reminded me of that dude in the summer.
Drives an 86 IROC that's about 7 different colors,
all different shades of primer.
Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah, for sure.
I was just trying to get this guy's picture right in my head, because it's funny, The beautiful thing about radio and podcasts, especially when you're not watching it, is you've got this incredible ability to kind of bring that show to life as you're listening to it in your brain, right? That's the beautiful thing about reading. You make the movie in your head, not somebody else's interpretation of it. So, my interpretation of this was more like, kind of like. All right, but not cool.
Yeah,
but not cool.
But not pulling it off.
Yeah.
Well, you nailed the kid the night we recorded this. You nailed the kid into saying, when you asked me, was he like that kid on the internet with that really long? Because he didn't really have the really long neck, but he had that for sure. Had that vibe about him.
Well, yeah, the kid on the internet's got the really long neck, and his chest is sunken in like somebody stole his heart or something like that. And he's got one of those cavities in his
chest
breastbone.
Is concave.
Yeah, like try giving CPR to that mother flipper.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, back to the show.
And Brian commences to scoop those AA batteries and that Game Boy up. They gather their shit and leave. And I'm like, I can't even be mad about this right now. This was so weird. Batteries, Brian.
Oh, my God. That's the name of the podcast this week. Batteries, Brian.
Never broke eye contact with me either when he said it. Just like threw his hand down in emotion, snapped his fingers, and said, "Batteries, Brian."
Oh,
and Brian didn't hesitate to gather all those AA batteries up.
Fucking Brian. I'm looking for my pen. Batteries, Brian. I did too, man. I was like, oh, that's genius. That's the name of the podcast. I got to find a pen. Where in the hell's a pen? God dang it.
That's awesome.
Donnie, get me a pen out here, please. Jesus.
It's funny you said that about that long neck kid because, yeah, he didn't have a long neck, but that was totally the vibe of these people.
Battery. Dude, I've done some Christmas shopping in the past where, well, there's Yeah, this leads into a story of mine.